What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. We're so glad you're here with us. We've got a fun topic today, don't we, Joey?
Super fun topic.
Fun.
We're talking about what everybody's talking about.
I was just going to say, it's fun. It might also be triggering, which I feel like has become a normal thing with this podcast.
Little bit triggering, potentially.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about a lot of the opportunity for you and how you can grow your business with it. So hopefully the trigger helps you maybe get encouraged to do something.
In a good way. In a good way.
In a good way.
But before we dive into that, we just want to touch on something really exciting that's coming up that I know a lot of people are buzzing about. We're getting people joining the waitlist every single day for it. And it's the next round of the Creative Rise Mastermind. This is our 8th round of the Creative Rise Mastermind, which is crazy. It's our 6-week signature program that we run creatives through to help basically blow up their businesses. And it's our 8th round, and we're really excited because it's coming this fall. We've had people on the wait list that have been waiting, going, I'm ready for the next one. I'm ready for the next one. I think we even had a guy join the wait list 3 times.
3 times.
3 times in.
Yeah, David. Shout out to David. He's on the wait list 3 times in the last 2 months,
signs up
I think.
3 times in 2 months.
So
I love
there's
that
a lot of
energy.
people really excited.
That's
And just to really get it out there, guys, Creative Rise exists to help people break the creative struggle, whether you're trying to go from your first 0 to 30K, whether you're trying to go from 50 to your first 6 figures, whether you're at 6 figures and you're still struggling because it's like, I don't think this is what I'm like the industry or the niche I want to be in, or I don't know how to get out of this trap. I feel like I've built, myself a fort and it's trapping me into this. The creative struggle looks so different for so many people. And that's exactly why we started Creative Rise. And this is the best thing ever to help people break the creative struggle. 6 week of mastermind, full of community accountability and coaching. It's next level. There's a reason why this will push us over 200 people going through it. So we're so excited about it. We only take a certain amount of people, so that's why we have a wait list. And so get on the wait list. How do they get on the wait list?
All you have to do is go to creativerise.com. Super easy. There's like 1,000 buttons you can press, or you can just go over to our Instagram bio at Creative Rise. You can find it there, or you can find us on TikTok now, which is really exciting. So you'll be able to hit all those link and bios on that to get on the wait list. So yeah, make sure you get on that. Super stoked. But this podcast is all about kind of the rises and the changes of social media and how you can take advantage of it. And we know that there's a lot of buzz going on about social media right now. A lot of anger around Instagram's changing.
A rising tide raises all ships, except for some that are sinking. There's a lot of ships that are sinking and complaining.
Which we are all at risk for sinking if we do not stay on top of it.
Absolutely. So the kind of the idea for today's podcast is that when we're faced with change, which we're all faced with right now, the people who are going to be successful in the next 6 months, year and a half, 2 years, 6 years, are the people who are going to go, how do I embrace this change? Even if it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, even if it's not my first pick, but how do I embrace it? And how do I kind of like put my foot on the gas through it? Because if we really look at what's going on right now, it's, we always talk about like an economic recession or a massive market crash or, 2008 that created, people are always like, oh, it was so bad. But then you look back and it's like, oh, that's when Facebook was created. Snapchat was created. And it's, everything was created in hard times. The pressure really refines some people and it creates the future of things. And I think we're living in a social age right now, and we're talking about social media today from a business perspective. We're living in a social environment for your business where we're experiencing a lot of change, and there's going to be a lot of people that completely fall off and they will lose their businesses because of it. And there'll be a lot of people who did not even have a great business who in 2 months from now have an incredible business. I'm seeing it every day on TikTok and on Instagram because they're simply learning to adapt to what the platforms are asking for, So I think we're kind of living in one of those in those days where there's so much shifting sand right now, and there's a lot of people falling through the cracks, but the people who are finding stability by doing whatever they're doing, which we're going to talk about in this podcast, are crushing it. And it's so fun to watch. So there's a lot of opportunity. And that's kind of the topic for today.
Yeah. And you might be sitting there going, okay, what is changing? And like the whole question of this podcast is, what are you going to do about the change? But let's talk a little bit about like, what are the environmental factors going on? Maybe you're just getting back into social media, or maybe you're just launching your business and you're like, I don't really know what's going on. What's everyone talking about? Everyone's so angry at Instagram or whatever it is. What is changing? And so here are like 5 things that are actually rampantly changing and very quickly. So I'm glad to listen to this podcast. We can kind of talk about it. And hopefully this will get you thinking on how you can take advantage of it. But the first thing is when it comes to social media, when it comes to audience building, what got you here won't get you there. So
the classic
line. But to personalize that for you, let's say you've been on Instagram if you're like Joey and I, you've been on Instagram for your business for like 10 plus years.
10 years.
Which is a long time when you think about it. But how both Joey and I grew our audiences like 6, 7, 8 years ago would not work at all today.
No.
Right? Not at all. Like, it's so different. So again, that is again changing, right? The environment of how social media works is changing. So what got you here, let's say you've built a strong audience up to this point, will not get you there in a few years of the same type of growth. So it's changing. Yeah,
so that's a great first one that's changing. The second thing that's really changing, and it's going to play on words because it's changing, but it also hasn't changed. There's a reason why when we sit down and we say, hey, let's have some people over, let's make dinner, and let's maybe watch a movie. There's a reason why we sit on our couches and we don't watch a photo on the wall. We watch video. Why do we watch video?
That's why people don't like family slideshows.
Why do we watch video? The reason why we watch video is it is more captivating. I don't care how much you want to argue about photos, but like video is more captivating. It's showing life, right, in a different form. And so what's happening is we've always been going towards video. For the last 100 years, things have been moving towards video.
Absolutely.
It's just the technology platforms have had to go, how do we actually develop some kind of a social environment where we can withstand the bandwidth that we need, for people to be able to create, share and consume video at the rate that they'd want to be consuming. So that's why everything started photo first. Instagram started photo first. Twitter started words, then photo first. Then they added video, right? Everything has kind of been like video is the end goal for everything because that's where the consumer attention always ends up going. So I'm saying this to say, like, you shouldn't be shocked that things are going towards video. No. This is not a punch in the throat if you're a photographer. This is just the reality of how us as humans consume things, right?
Right.
And so we're seeing that shift faster and faster and faster than we ever have right now. Huge shift on Instagram. TikTok obviously is so primarily video. YouTube is becoming more accessible for people than ever before. You could not become someone who built anything on YouTube unless you built like 7 to 12 minute educational videos, basically. And that's completely changing. YouTube Shorts is a thing now. So there's a lot of new opportunity for short form, lower barrier to entry style video stuff that we have never had as accessible. It's always been accessible. You just had to really commit to doing longer form stuff. It's just never been this accessible. That is a huge change.
Yeah, and another change that's happening is the rise of short form video, and that the platforms are pushing short form video. So again, this doesn't mean that you have to quit your job as a photographer and become a videographer. We're not saying that. And we're not saying don't post photos. We're actually going to get into that a little bit later. But the rise of short form video is what platforms
short-term rentals.
Too much Airbnb research. But basically, short form video is what the platform is pushing.
Yeah, totally. So the next thing is reaching your following. This is a really interesting one. One of the biggest things that's changed. Reaching your following, as we knew it, has completely changed.
Yeah.
The apps that we have built followings on now don't necessarily show what we create to the people that are following us.
Right.
It sounds insane, but that's the reality of the world that we live in as business owners trying to grow our businesses through these online free marketplaces that social media is. And so we're shifting to, social media styles where just like YouTube's kind of always been, when you put out a video, yes, the people who are subscribed to you might get notified you put out a video, but for the most part, a lot of the people that would see your video would be random people that are searching for whatever the video topic you made, was. Mm-hmm. Instagram has always been, when you post something, the people that follow you get to see it. That has been massively restricted, and now they're going, we're trying to diagnose what type of content this is, and we're trying to send it out to an audience. TikTok 100% works this way. Yeah. TikTok is not a social media platform. It's a search engine optimization entertainment platform. Mm-hmm. It's an SEO based platform, meaning TikTok is basically, China and TikTok are basically going, we're trying to create Google from a video perspective, which is genius and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. You can literally go on TikTok and type in how to cook homemade cookies, and you'll see 101 people teaching you homemade recipes on how to make chocolate chip cookies. Yeah. That's amazing. You cannot do the same thing on Instagram, or you could not do the same thing on Instagram for its entirety, of its lifespan. So basically what we're saying with that is there's a downside to that, where the people that you've really tried to hook and commit to get to follow you might not be seeing everything you're doing anymore. And that's frustrating. That's really frustrating for a lot of people. But the upside to that is that they're trying to diagnose who you are. Christy, who are you? What type of content do you make? And how can we match that with an audience we have? So the opportunity for you as a creative trying to connect with potential people to be leads and then eventually become clients for your business is astronomical. It's actually, what's the word? Like it's exponential.
Yeah.
Like you can't put a cap on who you can reach, which is really cool.
Crazy
so there's a lot of opportunity there, and that is a massive change. Instagram is quickly shifting to that as we speak because of just the virality and the way that TikTok has consumed people's attention, and people enjoy that type of entertainment. So
yeah, totally, on Instagram and TikTok. And you guys, one of the changes that is huge that I'm really excited about, Joey and I are both very excited about, is the rise of TikTok. Now, before you like outcast me in your mind or turn off this podcast, TikTok, just a news flash if you're not on TikTok, it's not all people dancing and posting weird videos. Like,
and we've been hesitant. Like, we only really got on TikTok, in the past month?
Oh, yeah. I think I downloaded TikTok when everyone downloaded TikTok.
We are late.
2020 during the pandemic.
We are late bloomers when it comes to this. But we're all still so early because it's still so new.
Yeah.
But Christy's going to say this next point from the perspective of like, we're not early adopters who are trying to like really push this on you.
No.
We are critical people.
Very critical. Yeah. But TikTok, you guys, is like the unturned gem that you have not gotten on if you are a business owner. It is Joey's going to explain more about TikTok in a second, but it's really exciting. And if you're not on it, you need to get on it. It is completely... It completely understands you as a platform and then feeds you content that you want to see. So I never see dancing videos or random things or whatever. It's all curated stuff, which tell them a little bit more about TikTok.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, it's all SEO based, right? So it is basically going, hey, how can we diagnose who you are? So again, just to make this really simple, Instagram has always worked where you have to create your own content and create your own audience. People follow you because they like what you're doing. TikTok is the exact opposite. TikTok creates audiences. So let's say, very simple, TikTok has created a pool for how to make homemade cookies. And then they go looking for people because they know that's a searchable thing. They go look for content creators that have even alluded to anything like that. They start throwing them into that pool and giving them traction with that audience. So it's a very different way that the platform works. It's SEO based. And that is, again, as I just said, that has exponential opportunity that I don't think any of us really even understand yet. No. It would kind of be like if I said to you, hey, if I own Google and I own YouTube and I'm resetting those platforms tomorrow, starting tomorrow, Google is wiped completely fresh and YouTube's wiped completely fresh. Would you be excited about that?
Yeah.
I would be totally excited about that. Yeah. I'd be going, wow, that's huge opportunity for me to comment on any topic I ever would like to comment on. And hopefully, because I'm so early, try and rank really high, which means that for the rest of eternity, I am going to be getting clicks onto my site. I'm going to be getting clicks onto my brand and onto my business. I'm going to be getting traffic, right? Traction. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of living in that day and age with TikTok right now where it's so new. It's a couple years old. It's definitely blown up, but it's still for sure in the grand scheme of things, like 2010, 2011, 2012 Instagram. It is so much more growing to do. And especially if you look at, I don't want to ramble too much, but you can look at the Chinese version of TikTok, like the actual, it's the same app, but it's the app that's only in China. And they've got a ton of other stuff built into it, like different ways people can buy straight through the platform, different ways you can connect with people, different ways you can, like, it's incredible what they're doing. And so it's going to become a much larger marketplace than I think any of us are aware of. So there's just a lot of opportunity to get in on whatever you are passionate about, whatever you're doing. Let's say you're a wedding photographer. If you go ham on going, I want to own part of that space. I want to own part of the, TikTok pool of things people could be searching for that would connect with me as a wedding photographer. I want to own a piece of that. If you own a piece of that real estate, I think you're going to be really successful in the next 10 years. Yeah. And I think there's just a lot of opportunity there. So I'm excited about it. Christy's excited about it. You should be excited about it as well.
We're excited about it, but we also know a lot of people aren't excited about it. Anytime there's like a new change on a platform or something existing that was working gets changed because of whatever environmental factor or consumer behavior gets changed, there's always people that want to dig in their heels and go, I don't want to change, right? I want it to go back the way it was. I'm sure you've probably seen it. The petition going around around to change Instagram back to chronological order and prioritizing still photos. Like, you guys, I'm sorry, just get with the program. It's not going to happen.
It doesn't make the money the same way.
It's not where consumer attention is going towards. So we want to urge you to take advantage of this opportunity and actually get excited about it, because like, it is going places, and if you don't take advantage of it, you're just going to fall behind, and we really, really don't want that for you. That's why we exist, so that you can break the creative struggle and do the things that you love day in and day out. So we want to give you kind of what we're doing, but then also kind of some encouragement of here's how you can actually take advantage of these new changes, how you can actually start growing on socials again and move from a place of like discouragement or even fear into a place of like, I now have ownership over this, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. So there's 3 things that we are choosing to see as opportunities rather than setbacks, and we want to encourage you to see as opportunities as well. Because I think if the people who look at these 3 things in the next year and really just kind of double down on them are going to be around in 10 years, and the people who don't might not. So,
and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is what we're like literally actively doing. So number 1, I've mentioned it 100 times, but we are choosing to see TikTok and see the way that it's changing the engineering backbone of social media apps as a opportunity. And instead of us going, that's weird, that's uncomfortable, that's new, all SEO based, I don't understand that, we're going, okay, how do we research it? How do we get a good understanding of it so we can leverage it? Yeah. So number 1 is the new opportunity for SEO topic-based content distribution has a massive upside that we've not seen before. And we are choosing to grab onto that and get excited about it.
Absolutely. And then number 2, you guys, and this is my personal favorite one, because as a photographer, moving into a much more like video focused space, I think this one's really exciting. Number 2, the opportunity to take advantage of is that there's a much lower barrier to entry in creating content. The way that these platforms are geared now saves you time, is less stressful, it's less polished, and it's way more personal. And why is this? Okay, you guys, from a photographer's perspective, it moving to video can sound really scary, right? You think, I've been a photographer, I don't have Premiere Pro, like I don't even know how to turn on the video function of my camera. Well, congratulations. It's actually moving less into like this polished, everything needs to be perfect. I mean, remember back in the day in Instagram, it was like you would go out and do this epic shoot. You would spend all this time with your expensive camera. You would go home and edit like crazy for hours. You would choose one photo and you'd post the one photo before carousels. And it was like, that was all the effort you had to put into creating something that would be successful and grow your brand online.
It's so funny that's how it used to be, but it 100% used to be that way.
It totally used to be that way.
People used to go on a full trip just to post like one thing.
Oh yeah, and that's the only way you could grow. Whereas now, if you just have an iPhone or any phone or any video, anything that can take a video, even if it's not very good looking, you can be successful, which should make you so excited and also alleviate a lot of fear for you, especially if you don't feel like you are a videographer. So some of those successful people that are blowing up on TikTok and Instagram and all of that are people that are just simply using iPhones, and they're just directing so much value and so much personal content into their brand, and they're literally popping off. Like, for instance, there's this cooking blogger I follow, and I know it's a different industry than the creative industry, but this cooking blogger I started following, I don't know, back in the day, and she used to post these like incredible, beautiful studio images of her perfect cakes and all of this stuff that she would make, and every shot was by an expensive camera with an expensive lens with all of this like staging. It was epic. Like, each photo was insane, and that's how she grew her audience. But with the rise of Reels, she was like, okay, I need to be an early adopter, an early innovator. She started creating these like simple iPhone videos of like super messy, like her making the food, her putting it together, the behind the scenes of what she was doing. And that like quadrupled her audience. So she built a following off of polished content, but then she was able to like exponentially grow because she took advantage of this low commitment, even sometimes low quality, but high value content that was connecting with her viewers and creating such a more personal approach to her brand and a higher trust with her brand. So I just want to say to you, this is a huge opportunity for you to create low commitment content that's going to be such a low barrier of entry that's really exciting for your brand.
Totally. That's so good. It's a great example. And number 3, the third thing that we're choosing to see as a great opportunity for us is the reality that there are not a lot of people so far that do lead generation in the new world of social that we're living in really well.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of people
so
that are able to convert audiences. And so if you can learn how to convert an audience, you will do really well. There's a lot of people that are learning how to build audiences quickly and at a scalable pace. But I've seen few people actually learn how to convert them and actively do that. And so I've been on TikTok for about a month now, and I've just been scrolling, and even on Reels, like just been scrolling and consuming and trying to learn what people are looking for and doing. And coming from a marketing background, it's been fascinating because there's been a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, that's so traditional. It's cool seeing people bring that. And then there's some stuff that's like so new, and it's fascinating. So one of the things that I think is just, a great opportunity is if you can go back to traditional marketing and you can implement traditional marketing into the new world that we're all living in, which is more short form based video, and you can create short form based like little sales funnels, I think you're going to rock it. Yeah. Here's an example. So there's this guy that I follow. I literally started following him because he did this so brilliantly. He's a young guy, and he just comes on the screen on TikTok. He's like, yo, do you want to make your videos look like this? Here's 3 tips to make your videos more engaging. Number 1, use captions. Number 2, make sure your captions have color. Number 3, make sure your captions also are changing fonts and adding some emojis in there. This really draws people into the video. It makes it stand out, and it helps people that don't have the sound on engage with the video, right? And I was like, okay, obviously educational. That's all pretty common knowledge stuff, but he did it in a really good way where it was educational and it was easy to consume. So at the end of the video, he then says, if you want to learn how to make your videos look like this, click on the pinned video in my profile. And I was like, well, that's super interesting. He told me to do something. I'm a human. When you tell a human to do something, we often do it. So I went over to his profile, and his pinned video says, hey, so glad you're here. You probably saw one of my TikToks about how to make captions really, really cool. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. Anyone can make captions like that. The issue is, though, that you run into 2 or 3 of these problems. Number 1, it's super time consuming. Number 3, it's hard to sometimes do it at scale because of the time that it costs you. And number whatever, it's just blah, 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 blah. And he said at the end of the video, I run a literal video marketing business that helps you make videos like this. So it's effortless for you. You don't have to think about it, and you can focus on what you do best. Here's how you hire me. And I was like, whoa, that is the best example of someone using a traditional marketing funnel and squeezing everything that would be in a traditional big marketing funnel into like 2 pieces of short form content.
Yeah.
And I totally got funneled. Didn't hire them because we already have people on our team that do all that stuff. But I was like, that's brilliant. And what a great way. Yeah. What a great example of someone using the new world we're living in to, even with a small audience, he does not have a big audience. He says on his thing, he's like, oh, I quit a 6-figure paying salary job doing this content stuff for a real estate company because I've been able to replace that doing this by myself because of the power of TikTok. And I'm like, that's crazy. So point is, you don't need a huge audience. You just need to learn how to funnel people well. And so going back to a typical marketing has always been and will always be 3 things. Number 1, you have to take the piece of content, whatever you're using to engage with people and pique their curiosity. If you cannot pique someone's curiosity, you're never going to be able to get them to the next step. So number 1 is you always have to hook them and engage them by engaging their curiosity. And that's what that guy did with me in that video. Number 2, you always have to then educate somebody, okay? Once you've piqued somebody's curiosity, you have to educate them through something. So you hooked them with some kind of question. You made them ask themselves a question. Here's how educate them around that question. And then number 3 is you ask for a commitment. That is what marketing has always been. It's what marketing will always be because it's human psychology. And if you can learn how to do that in a new short form world we're living in, you're going to have a lot of success as a business owner. So that's something Christy and I are really thinking about, doubling down, coming up with our tactical stuff on how we're going to do that. We are going to go hard with some new training stuff inside of the Creative Res Mastermind, bringing some of my friends who have got a couple million followers on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. And they're going to be teaching like how to really do that well. Yeah. So excited for the Mastermind and that. But guys, that is what we are focusing on. That's what we really want to encourage you to focus on. See the opportunity in the change that we're all living in right now. Because if you can see that opportunity, your business is going to be in a way better place in a year from now than it's going to be if you don't adapt. Yes. Right? Don't adapt. So in the classic words of business failures, don't be a Blockbuster, be a Netflix. Yeah. Now Netflix is kind of falling behind a little bit. There's a lot of other good streaming platforms coming out. Be a Hulu. Be a which one has Yellowstone?
Paramount.
Be a Paramount.
Be a Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. That's the best one because Yellowstone's the greatest show ever. Anyways, guys, this is super exciting. Yeah. I hope that you guys are taking this and going, I'm excited to run into the future with this. And I hope you're also going, this is a season of life where I really want to ramp up my business.
Yeah. And there's a lot of changes, as we've been talking about, changes with social, changes with the market right now, with a upcoming recession, with inflation, whatever it is. People, you might be scared. You might be looking at, is my business going to make it? Or am I going to be able to double my income in the way that I was planning on doing it? Or, I'm actually trying to shift industries, but I'm not quite sure how to do that or how to be really successful in that. And we just want to tell you the way to handle any type of stressor when it comes to worrying about the future of your business is not by sticking your head in the sand, or it's not about by just like watching other people do it. It's about actually getting in a community of people that can support you, who've gone where you've been trying to go. And so if that's you, if you're like thinking about the future of your business and get really excited, or maybe you're even nervous about the future, I just recommend you like take a look at the Creative Rise Mastermind. It might be the support that you need because we've got coaching in there, we've got community, we've got accountability, all of the stuff that we really believe as business owners helps you grow your business to the place you wouldn't be able to by yourself.
Yeah, believe in seen, right? We've seen it time and time again. People come in, hit their first 6 figures, hit their first multi-6 figures, hit their first 30K. For some people, going from 0 to 30 is like life-changing, right? And that's what it's all about. It's all about helping you break the creative struggle with where you're at, whether it's, again, your first 6 figures, your first 30K. Maybe you're already making 150K, but you're going, I don't enjoy what I'm doing anymore as much as I thought I would, and I need help re-identifying who I want to be as a business owner and coming up with new offers, coming up with new strategies, coming up with new marketing plans. I need support, right? Yeah. So if that's you got to jump into the next round of the Creative Rise Mastermind. It's launching on September 5th. It starts September 18th.
Yep.
And if you're on the wait list, which you got to get on the wait list because it always sells out, and the wait list fills up 95% of it every single time, and you get a discount. If you're on the wait list, go to creativerise.com. You'll see 100 different ways to join the wait list. If you're on the wait list, you get access actually at the end of August.
Yeah, August 29th.
Super exciting. We can't wait for this next round. It's going to be round 8 of the Creative Rise Mastermind. It only gets better and better and better. Can't wait to meet everybody that's going to be coming on in.
Yep.
And can't wait to go and literally build people businesses that are going to change their lives.
Yeah.
Because they have the support, they've got the guidance, and they've got the accountability to make it happen. So really exciting.
Great.
Again, join the waitlist, go to creativerise.com, and you'll see everything there. If you've got questions about the mastermind and maybe you're like, hey, I don't maybe want to join the waitlist yet, or you're like, I'm on the waitlist, but I do have some questions, please message us. We want to make sure that you have every piece of, conversational data you need in order to make a really good decision on if the mastermind's a great fit for you. But guys, great episode, super fun. We'll see you see you in the new digital world. We'll leave it there. We'll say that.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.